What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140-mile-an-hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
There's Boris said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, Lagarde, Miller, Lagarde.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Road America. Ralph Shaheen here with you alongside Harbir Das. Harbir, welcome.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
You're going to be racing a little bit later on today in our Ligier Junior Formula Championship. But up first here today will be F4. Tell me a little bit about these F4 cars.
They're pretty fun to drive. They have about 160, 170 horsepower, and they weigh around 1,400 pounds with the driver. And they make a good bit of downforce, but not so much dirty air, so there's a lot of tight battles.
And here today at Road America, the second round for the championship, much different than the season opener at NOLA.
Yeah, much different. NOLA was a much bumpier track. We had pretty good pace throughout the whole session, and obviously we had a qualifying session. Here, due to weather, our qualifying was canceled, but race is still on.
How much does the weather impacted your weekend? So we had tornado warnings and watches. We've had rain. We've had cooler temperatures. A lot of overcast skies.
It didn't really impact us too much. We had dry running the whole time. It just pretty much affected us with delays. And other than that, obviously no qualifying session, but the races started by championship points. So we'll be starting P3 and P4, me and Drew.
Cars are out on track. You can see a little bit of moisture on the lens of that last camera shot. So it looks like the track is not necessarily wet, but it's going to be just moist out there all throughout this race, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tricky conditions for them out there. It's going to be pretty slick on the driving line, I think, and off of it, it should be all right, but depends on if it gets worse or not.
They call it America's National Park of Speed, and it is a very challenging, very daunting circuit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it can be. It's a lot of high-speed corners. There's not really any slow speed. Turn 5 and Turn 6 are the slowest you get, and it's all third gear, so nothing too slow. So it can be pretty daunting if you make a mistake.
You flat through the kink?
Oh, yeah, flat through the kink.
You got to do that, right?
Yep.
Speaking of daunting. All right, the cars are rolling up. The Janetta safety car has exited the racetrack. They'll be forming up here. Let's give you a look at the starting lineup, who's in the event here today. We have our grid. Alex Popoff will be on the #1 slot in the 55. Cooper Shipman. Kai Hawanio will start inside row 2 with Clemente Huerta alongside Caleb Campbell in 5th. Ty Arbogast in 6th. Dimitri Nolan and Luke Powers rounding out a field of 8 according to our grid. Although it looks like more than 8 cars are out there.
Yeah, it looks like they're all on dry tires too, so we'll have to see what the weather does.
And maybe one car starting from the pit lane here, the 22. And that 22 not on our grid. Nor is the 31. The 55 is Alex Popov.
I think the 31 might be Titus Sherlock.
Titus, I was going to guess that, but I didn't want to. Here we go, green, and we're underway.
Titus got a good launch there. A little bit of a lockup in the turn 1, though.
Yeah, you can see him fighting the steering wheel. You can see the moisture on the lens as we through 1, through 2. One car going wide coming out of 1. Not unusual, especially at the start. Headed down to turn 3.
Yeah, it looks pretty damp out there. All the cars got a little squirrely on exit.
Here's turn 3, and everybody's going to make it through there. Now your first real high-speed section as you make the run down to turn 5.
Yeah, it's a big, long straight.
Oh, the 5 car is off here, Dimitri Nolan.
Looks like they got through turn 5 all right.
Headed up the hill under the Corvette bridge. Well, they're still dealing with the 5 car here.
Looks unfortunate. Looks like he's beached on that curb.
That was Benovitz that was off, Alex Benovitz.
Oh, looks like some damage on some of them cars.
Catching a glimpse of the 80 Brady Golan. Sherlock and the rest of the field come past here under the yellow.
Yeah, especially in these conditions, it's going to be crucial to keep tire temp up.
Yeah, and it has clouded up on us quickly here, the moisture having moved back into the area. And it's crazy too, Habir, because it's not really a rain, it's just a really, really heavy mist.
Yeah, it's kind of like driving through a cloud out there. Looks like the whole track is kind of damp. No tire spray, but everyone is on slicks.
How about these hand-cooked slicks on a damp racetrack like this? And you can see the moisture on the lens there kind of spitting out there. Again, it's not a downpour or a shower, but it has intensified in its thickness.
Yeah, I mean, any slick in a damp condition isn't going to be ideal. You kind of have to keep tire temps up and stay off of the racing line. Anytime you're on the rubber, it's going to be pretty slick. So you got to try stay off of that and manage the power as best as you can.
All right, let's go down trackside to the third member of our broadcast crew. Here's Ben Sissel.
stopped raining. But they're all going to come down, take these hand-cooked tires. We'll get a shot of this. So most of these look brand new. There is no intermediates in this series, so it's either basically full wets or you're on slicks. But you can see these are brand new, hand-cooked rain tires about to go on. It looks like all of the cars down here, at least in Kiwi. And just driving through pit lane, I noticed that all the teams had a set of wet tires with them. So they're coming down here right now behind the pace car. And this isn't going to be like what we're used to seeing in other forms of racing. They're going to let them take their time. This isn't first one to put 4 tires on is off. This is we're going to let them take their time. We're going to step out here. The officials wisely have made us move back, but you can see the cars are coming down here. We have an official, Alan, right here with us, and now they're all going to try to hit their pit boxes. So come back here a little bit, Lucas. We just want to make sure, and you can see they're even slick trying to stop in their pit boxes, and they're missing their pit boxes here. You've got number 1 coming through, so keep moving back. I'm just moving back the cameraman right now to make sure we're not getting in anybody's way. And then there's Kevin Jansen coming in, so now we'll come over here to the 15, Nicholas Stoddy, and you can see the team here just lifting up the cars. They can take their time. We want to give everybody enough time to go out, and then they're going to go back out in the order that they came in. And there's going to be a lot of shuffling around here. You can see the little rings that they take off here to keep the nuts from going off.
All right, Javier, how about the hand-cooked
remember to
rain
put those
tire?
rings back on.
The hand-cooked rain tire is pretty good rain tire, actually. You get a
So teams like Crosslink and Kiwi, where they have so many cars, this is why we let them take their time when there's a mandatory pit stop like this to change the tires. But now I'm seeing blue skies, so it's just one of those things so aggravating about these little microclimates up here. You can see him tightening, so now he comes through, putting on the rings, but he wants to get this to a certain pressure. Puts the rings back on. That is the crew chief for Kiwi. And now we'll step back here. And Ralph, I'm going to let you guys take over the audio, but you might stay with our visuals up in the booth.
Yeah, I was looking to the sky to our right, Ben, and you're right. I actually do see blue sky patches. So now, Javier, you have full wets and a track that if more of that blue sky pops, it's going to start drying. So what do you do?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting conditions. First of all, it's going to be pretty normal, like probably almost of a dry line because it's not too damp. But the rain tires really give you that extra grip. But then once it starts to dry out, drivers are going to want to look offline to find some puddles to cool the tires off.
I don't know if we got enough rain to actually make puddles. You know, it was wet, yes, damp for sure. But puddles, I didn't see any standing water anywhere.
Yeah, no, I didn't see any puddles either. But anytime you can go offline and find even damp track that's going to be cooler, you're gonna want to do that.
There you can see the blue sky all the way back down the last corner. You look back down the front straightaway. The weather around here will certainly make you second guess your decisions on a regular basis, won't it?
Oh yeah, it changes all the time.
Yeah, I remember driving here in a Volkswagen Jetta Cup race and coming up the front straightaway. Everything was bone dry, beautiful. Come under the start-finish line, just about got to the end of pit lane, and the sky opened up, and I mean just a full downpour going into one, just sawing at that wheel, trying to woe that thing down and control it through the corner. And then you get down over to turn 5 again, it's bone dry again. You know, you just never know. With a 4-mile racetrack, you can have multiple seasons in one lap.
Yep, for sure. I raced here in Spec MX-5, and during the runoffs, it downpoured pretty bad. We were sitting in pit lane, it was drizzling, and then we got out on track and got one good lap in, and it just downpoured. going down the back stretch, the kettle bottoms, I was pointing straight and hit a puddle, and all of a sudden I wasn't pointed straight anymore.
Oh, boy.
I saved it, but it was a close call.
Yeah, it's a pretty fast section to be dealing with that. And that's going into 5, and boy, you can see it sure looks like it's starting to dry pretty quick over there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell for sure, but it looks pretty dry.
I don't blame Scott Goodyear at all, though, for that call, because when he made it, it sure looked like that was the way to go and the safe thing to do for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to be out there on slicks in those conditions.
No. That wasn't going to work. Front straightaway, though, as you and I glance out the window, is definitely still pretty damp. So those rain hand cooks are certainly going to help a lot getting the drive off the last corner and getting woed down, getting into turn 1.
Yeah, for sure. You can see a little bit, not standing water, but shiny track conditions.
All right, Ben, I see you back at the front of the grid there. You got something else for us?
Open. There we go. Yeah, I'm down here. You can see the safety car here for SpeedTour, a beautiful Ginetta in the rain as they're getting ready to go back out, but they've realigned the cars, worked very hard. So you can see here with Titus Sherlock, currently the leader. He did win here twice last year in FR. He's very good here, currently 4th in points, but looking relaxed in the cockpit, doing very well. Then we come back here, starting 2nd. This is restart procedures. So currently he started 3rd, but Jet Bowling had some mechanicals at grid, so came out here 2nd. Our points leader from Santiago, Chile is Nicolas Ambiado with Kiwi Motorsport. Then we come back here from Brazil, Bruno Ribeiro, and let me point this out. It's cold here, it's rainy. So they put this tape to restrict the air. This is the radiator, the water, the engine cooling. The other side is oil cooling, so they didn't have to worry about the other side. But Nicolas Ambiado all the way out here, or Bruno Ribeiro, sorry, with Kiwi Motorsport, all the way from Brazil. Then we come back here to Connor Roberts. You can see that the water is accumulating. So we go from rain to blue skies back to rain in just a matter of minutes, which is typical of Wisconsin and Road America for this time. A little bit more tape, a little bit more wind restriction here with the Mosport Karting Center of Connor Roberts. And back here, Brady Golan doing really, really well. Very fast driver from the USA. Look out for him with Tony Driver Development. Nicholas Stoddy, all the way from Perth, Australia, doing really, really well in this group. He won here last year with us in F4 and has now moved up to FR. So a very fast driver. Then we have James Lawley. These beautiful red wings that match the Canadian maple leaf. So James Lawley doing really well, running the old school GoPro camera. We're going to leave here in about 1 minute. Luke Aday in this beautiful pink and white and purple car, the number 9.5. Then you can see here Ethan Sterling with Jensen still putting tires on in the grid position. Not sure what happened there, but you can see Alan here is here making sure that everything that they're doing is going to be safe to release the car. Then here, the 22 of Jet Bowling, who should be starting back. You can see the officials up here trying to work out who goes where. But Jet Bowling is the one, so they're departing, so we're going to get out of the way here. Let them go back out. Ralph, I'm going to send it up to you in the booth.
Yeah, don't forget your umbrella, because it looks like, Abir, it has started to rain again.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I mean, we all saw it. There was blue sky there. I know I know what I saw, right?
Yep.
The eyes aren't what they used to be, but I did see blue sky and a big patch of it. Didn't last long.
Yeah, that blue sky didn't hang around for long, for sure.
We saw the extra tape that Ben pointed out on the car and the air boxes. I saw some bulletins going out this morning about them increasing the temperature.
Yeah, so once the air temp reaches a certain level, once it gets below that level, you need to duct tape over the air intake for the radiator so you can keep the engine temps up. You don't want it to run too cold as that can damage the motor, and you also don't want it to run too hot.
It's a fine balance, isn't it?
Yep.
So that's out of 3, 4, headed over to 5 here. Heavy, heavy braking zone. How far into 5 can you get?
In the F4 car, you can get up to the, I think the 2 board is about the latest you can go. It's amazing how quick the cars can stop even on that decline.
This track is interesting too in the fact that it's got a great flow to it. It's a lot of fun to drive, but the corners aren't necessarily linked up together like they would be at, say, Sonoma Raceway, where you go down through the S's and it's all, you know, from 7 all the way down to 11. It's all very connected. You get one wrong, you screw yourself up the whole way down. Here, you can get turn 5 wrong and get back on your groove by the time you get to 6,
Yeah,
or
for
anywhere
sure.
else around the track.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting like that. All these corners are high speed. You want to roll as much speed through as you can. But if you get one wrong, there's a big distance between corners that you're going to lose a ton of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, it's definitely moist over there, isn't it? Look at all, there's some puddles actually in that section. That's over the carousel.
Oh, yeah, look at all that spray.
You know, when Cliff Tuft was designing this racetrack, he was a highway engineer building roads and stuff. And one of the things he did, he knew the area where the track was going to go and the directions, but he drove miles upon miles upon miles all around the area on all the different backcountry roads and stuff in the 50s when they were building this, getting ready to build it. And he took a look at the corners that he really enjoyed driving through, and he went back and he measured and he did all the things that he needed to do, and he took all those types of corners and put them here. So the different variations of turns.
You can see Titus.
Here we go, coming up to speed. This will be a rolling single car restart.
Oh, we
One
got a
around
car
coming
backward.
up the final corner. Looks like got on the throttle just a little too soon, a little too hard up here.
Yep.
Green is out and we're racing towards turn 1. Sherlock out front on the 31. Titus first one to turn 1.
Yeah, I know he's looking for a victory after NOLA. He had an engine blow there.
Daniel Quimby really struggling. The driver out of Sydney, Australia. That FCL Transport Cruise America Atlantic Racing Team entry. Meanwhile, the field is on its way to turn 5.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more wet than we thought it was.
Here comes the 0-1 of Ribeiro looking the inside, and that was, I believe, Ambiato that went off track, wasn't it?
I think so.
Which would be a shame for the points leader. Yes. He spins it around. Good thing is there is a fair amount of runoff there at 5 that if you are not going to make the corner, you can open the wheel back up, get off the brake, and ease off into that runoff.
Yeah, in these rainy conditions, it's definitely possible, but when you're at full speed, it's definitely a lot harder.
All right, here comes the carousel. You enjoy that corner?
Yeah, the carousel's a lot of fun. It's a very, very long corner, flat out in the F4 car.
Now on their way over to the kink. And how far up into your throat does your heart get every time you go into the kink?
Not too far. I'm used to it at this point.
It is a badge of courage type of thing. You have to do it flat, right?
Yeah, if you don't do it flat, there's a lot of time to gain.
Boy, you can see a few cars just losing a lot of grip in the rear end coming through there as they head over towards Canada Corner now. Back up onto the main straightaway here.
It looks pretty dry coming out of Canada, like through turn 13, 14.
Still really seeing a lot of cars fighting to get that rear grip coming off those slower corners.
Yeah,
Sherlock
for sure.
going to lead this one back into one with Ribeiro, Roberts, Colin, and Stoddy all behind him in the top 5.
It's looking like blue skies again, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, you might be a little bit optimistic, right? Oh, and another one off here. The one car that is 8th and Sterling out of Massillon, Ohio. And the Jensen-backed car. Tough break for Ethan, and he's beached out there. So I'm not sure if that's going to bring us out a full course caution or what, as the leaders are out of 5 and up the hill under the Corvette bridge to 6.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a full course yellow. It's pretty unfortunate if you get stuck in that gravel. There's not really anything you can do to get out.
Sherlock, nice comfortable gap of about 2 seconds between him and Ribeiro right now as they head into the carousel. And what they call Mission Beach on the outside of the carousel there, all that gravel. And that whole section down there used to be a gravel pit back in the day, and they just carved out a beautiful corner right through the middle of it for the racetrack. Here's the kink.
Yeah, you can see all the tire spray in that shady back section. Not quite a dry line forming yet.
No, I'm sure those guys are all pretty happy they got the rain tires on as they enter the kink right now.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite corner around here right now?
Turn 1, I think, is my favorite. It's just so fun to go through there. It's such a fast corner.
Checkered flag waves for Titus Sherlock as he takes the win in a challenging Formula Regional Americas event. Sherlock will be the first one across the line, and already things are looking better than they did in New Orleans.
Yeah, for sure.
And with Ambiato having his issues, Titus could certainly all of a sudden find himself right back in the thick of the points chase here.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible for him, especially after Ambiato's little off. Oh, we got another car off there.
Yeah, be careful getting back on. That's Ambiato there. And looks like he's going to be credited just inside the top 10, finishing in 9th. So it certainly doesn't crush his title hopes, but it's definitely going to tighten up. It's the 42 car Quimby, who we saw off course early. He's back in 12th.
Looks like some parts of the track are drying up a little bit.
Yeah, a little, but the rain tire was definitely still the right call to make.
Yeah, for sure. Even in damp conditions, the rain tire is better.
And here's the one car for the reason why Sterling was off. That was at turn 1.
Looks like he just locked up the brakes there and ended up going wide.
Here's a look at your results. Sherlock, Ribeiro, Roberts, Golan, and Stoddy, the top 5, with Ambiato coming across the line just behind Jeff Bowling in 8th and 9th. All right, good look at the karting center as we fly our drone high above that. We'll get Quimby out of the beach area here, and we'll be back to Road America for more after this.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Back here at a now drying out Road America as we've completed our first race of the weekend, the Formula Regional Americas, and we're in Victory Lane with Ben Sissel.
Thanks a lot, Ralph. I'm here with the winner. This is now 3 wins for Titus Sherlock at Road America. First in 2025. How was it out there?
Yeah, it didn't make it easy. The first half a lap of the race, it was raining. We were on slicks, and it was tough, but we got to switch tires and had a few laps at the end, which was quite good. We were quite fast as well, so just happy to get it done, really.
I noticed you were going kind of deep into some of the turns. Is that just because you overcooked it, or you're just searching for grip?
Just taking rain lines. You know, there's more grip off the rubber, so you got to go around the corner and kind of V it off. So it was on purpose. Yeah, it wasn't an accident.
Well, there you go. Titus Sherlock, P1 here, Formula Regional Americas Championship, Race 1 at Road America. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Well, that's a big turn of the season for Titus. He really needed that up here.
Yeah, he really did, especially after NOLA. As I said, he had that engine failure, his cooling system wasn't working the way it should have, and he knew it was going to blow up, but he just kept pushing through, and they finally did.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing you a little later on this afternoon. You're going to be coming out in our Formula Junior Series, right?
Yep, Ligier JFC.
Ligier JFC. All right, what do you expect out of that?
Starting third, thinking about just getting as good of a start as I can and just putting my head down and going. Try to break away from the others.
All right, Habir Das getting ready for the Ligier Junior Formula Championship coming up later today. We're going to be right back to Road America. Stay with us.
Yes. Hon, the weather tech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Kind of surprises things, and oh, he rockets by Sima.
There's Boris said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, Lagarde, Miller, Lagarde.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, SpeedCom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
And we are back here live at Road America. Ralph Shaheen, Ben Sissel, and Tom Pank with you as we get ready for the first international GT race of our weekend on our coverage for you. As we kick things off here, this beautiful twisting 4-mile circuit, Ben.
Yeah, and we're joined in the booth with Tom Pank. And Tom, I thought Lucas was going to be out there out front, but I'm not seeing him behind the pace car. Do you know what's going on?
Yeah, I came in the booth here. Lucas has taken the car over for this race, and I saw the spray coming from the Formula cars in the kink and down through there, and I called him up and said no.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we have Benjamin Myers out there in that purple car. Then Andrew Myers in the yellow. I see Michael Merritt out there, but we don't have the timing and scoring to see exactly who's out there. So it started raining pretty hard here about 20, 30 minutes ago, and a lot of the international GT drivers have decided they didn't have really, some of them didn't have enough time to put their wets on, but some of them are like, yeah, we'll wait till the afternoon race.
Yeah, these cars are set up for speed and handling, and that requires a dry track. And the setups change for rain, and it gets real hairy if it's too wet out there. And you hit the grass, and you hit the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, the bad thing about these conditions, and Ralph, you can speak to this, if you go into the grass, you actually speed up as they come here to take the green flag.
It looks like 2 pace laps, guys. They're going to sort this out, let the drivers figure out the conditions a little bit, and that's a smart thing to do. Let them find their line, see where it's dry, see where they might have a little grip, and then start the race.
And Ralph, you were up here commentating the first race, the Formula Regional Americas Championship. What were you seeing? Because this is new pavement, relatively new pavement for Road America, so we haven't seen these conditions a lot.
Yeah, I think the repave was done, 2022? Full course repave. So it's only a couple of seasons old. I haven't heard anybody complaining about grip around here when conditions are great. The repave came with pretty much thumbs up across the board from all the drivers of the different divisions that compete here. However, today, boy, as you said, Ben, you get microclimates all around this place, and after completing a 4-mile lap here, you might go through 2 or 3 seasons per lap. And today that was the case. We've had cool temperatures all morning. That rainy fog mist blew through here. And before we got the green to get underway, Formula Regional Americas, the whole track was suddenly damp. And Scott Goodyear made the right call to bring the entire field in and put wets on and make it a wet race.
So we've got Benjamin Myers, new to International GT, followed by his brother Andrew Myers, also new to International GT, but not new to racing. Very competitive Sports 2000 racers. Then Kurt Kropp in 3rd place. Unfortunately, our friend and one of my favorite drivers, Juan Gonzalez, he doesn't like racing in the rain, so he's not out there. Lucas Pank is not out there. His dad is in the booth with us. Then we go to Michael Merritt, our current points leader, who was with us at Sonoma and Laguna. David Harrington. Then Bob Gee, the Cookie King of Chicago, his first time in International GT. Eric Gray, Richard Walker, and then Richard Walker. So we have 2 Richard Walkers, one in the number 67 and one in the number 64. Not sure if that's correct or if that's a problem with electronics.
Well, and Bob Gee's going to be jumping into his big block Corvette a little later as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, so we've known Bob
get a lot of laps
for a long time. He's from the Chicago area. That's why he's the Cookie King of Chicago. And he's going to be out there, but he's running right now a Cayman with Tommy Byrne as the driver coach. So it's cool to have people like that in the paddock. And you can see it's starting to kind of dry up a little bit here, Tom.
Yeah, no, I'm actually surprised at that, but it's still wet through there, and that is extremely unforgiving.
No, we spoke about this, Ralph, at Sonoma, that we said Sonoma turn 10 maybe our second most treacherous turn of the season, but the Kink by far is the king of the treacherous turns, and that's right here at Road America. And then the other thing, with this moisture, it seems to accumulate right there on the apex of the Kink.
Well, the thing that makes the Kink so daunting is as you're headed into it flat out, you're going straight at the concrete barrier. And it's very intimidating. You see the track going to the right, but you're still going straight at that wall. Yeah. You miss that corner, there's not a lot of runoff.
They're coming up through now, guys.
Yeah, coming up. They take a long, straight uphill to the green flag, and we've got 2 brothers side by side. So, Dawn, if you're watching, don't bite all your fingernails off just yet. Ralph, here they come.
All right. About 8 Porsches ready to battle it out here in our International GT event. Up under the bridge, looking for the green. And we're racing here at Road America.
You can see Michael Merritt just getting into the middle there, our current points leader.
Everybody getting on the binders now as they set up for turn number 1, and it's going to be the 29 of Benjamin Myers to the inside, getting just in front of his brother Andrew, with Merritt tucking back into third as they go through 2, down the hill and over to turn 3.
I don't know what it is about these Myers brothers, but they love racing with each other. They were together all last year in their S2s, but Michael Merritt making a look of it.
Yep, sweeping through 4 into the Sargento Bridge. Now you're going down the hill towards turn number 5. Not as daunting as the kink, but very difficult to make happen, Tom.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is a good racing. Now they're just trying to get their feel. This is their first hot lap, so they still don't really know the limits of this track yet.
Merritt has moved himself up into second place. Yeah. As we see the rest of the field all the way back through Daniel Harrington in the 63 through turn 6. Now you start working your way, Ben, over to the carousel here.
Yep. So Ben Meyer over Michael Merritt. And the carousel is such a difficult. You want to hold your speed, and you're right at the edge of grip. You're just on the throttle, feathering the throttle, holding your speed, trying to find grip. As Merritt right behind him as they come under the Mission Bridge. Surely he won't make a pass.
Be patient.
Headed to the king flat out. Merritt tucks in back behind him.
And that was good that he did that, because he would have come out into a slick. There's no dryness outside of the racing line.
You'll see Merritt probably pass
Here
coming
Canada.
up the straight.
You're
not
going
to pass into Canada. That would be crazy. Oh, where's Merritt?
It might be. You know, they might make a pass. They come around the summit racing. Panning to find him, and it looks like he made the pass. Michael Merritt over.
No, Merritt off.
No.
He
What
had
the heck?
the pass made, and then Merritt goes off, and then the 51 of Myers goes off trying to avoid him, while Merritt spins back around, gets it headed in the right direction, and only loses 1 spot. Ben, if you're going to pirouette on the dance floor, that was the right time to do it.
Yeah, but unfortunately that took Andrew Myers. Andrew Myers had to take evasive actions, and that kind of cost him. He lost a little bit from his front splitter, went into the gravel.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to have what could have been a disastrous moment, and you only lose 1 spot. And not a
he's
ton
back
of time.
where he was just 2 corners before that.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 3 seconds back now, and plenty of time to make it back up.
But as you can see, the grip, you've got to find the grip out there. There's still a lot of wet lines as we go side by side in the Mission Foods. That's Bob Gee out there in the front.
Gee's in that 527. White, black, and red came in.
Daniel Harrington in the 63.
And I'll tell you where Merritt's going to make up his time, get right back. That's in the carousel. He really, Tom, seems to get a good drive through that carousel.
Well, the carousel is a very important corner here, because you sit in that carousel for like 20 seconds. And if you get there 2 seconds faster, you're going to gain that full time. So if I were Merritt, I'd be a little more cautious than try pass down in the kink in Canada where the track is still wet.
So Andrew Meyer still making a go of it here. And you can see Bob Gee and these 2 cars here at the back, Walker and Harrington, they've stayed side by side almost the complete lap.
Yeah, Harrington finally gets around him in the 63.
We see so these are one of the robo cams that we have, and you can see they're kind of adjusting as they go. But just like you, Ralph, I wanted to see what happened in the carousel. As we can see, so there's Andrew. We're still not seeing the leaders. That looks like that's the entrance of Canada. Here we go.
Here's Merritt already coming through the final corner.
So Merritt took the lead over Benjamin Myers, in that 2017 Porsche GT3 Cup car with Brady in the 901 shop. Then behind Benjamin should be Andrew. That is our points leader coming into Cube 3 Turn 1.
Right back to the front of the field. Chased him down after that spin. Gets back around him. And you can see how much brighter it is in that section coming up the hill than it is anywhere else on the racetrack. It's just crazy, Ben, how you can go through such different conditions in one lap.
Yeah, but with a track so large, it does kind of make sense. And then all these tracks we go to, Ralph, seem to have their own little microclimate.
Yeah, they're all different no matter where you are, right? Fog in Monterey and different things.
So Michael Merritt pulling a big gap, but
The
I'm
lap
impressed.
times you're showing on the screen aren't correct. That last lap was a 2:20. So maybe we can adjust the lap times on the screen, please.
So Benjamin Meyer, Andrew Myers doing really well for their first time in not ideal conditions. That's Kurt Kropp in his Porsche GT4 Club Sport.
It is pretty amazing how this track has dried up this quickly.
And it looks like Bob Gee has fallen to the back. He was in the lead of the Caymans, and now he's in the back of the Caymans. But again, Bob Gee, first time in International GT with us at Road America, but he's been a long-time SVRA competitor in a Group 6 beautiful Corvette.
Well, and I got to believe that Cayman handles a little bit differently than that 60s era Corvette.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And he's just out here just kind of taking it slow, just kind of learning International GT. I was talking to him at Mid-Ohio last year and said, man, I think you would really enjoy it. So it's great to have him out here. I will say he's my wife's favorite driver because he sent us a care box full of cookies. So she loves the Tate's cookies that he makes.
So you're going to send him a Christmas card, Ben?
Yeah, I'll send him a Christmas card. Did you see Myers getting a little bit sideways here coming through the Hankook section?
That was Merritt with an 18.8. Now, they're probably on rain tires, so with the track drying out, they're probably going to eat these rain tires up pretty fast.
So he's on slicks, right? Because he's got the yellow sidewalls?
Okay. I'm not so sure.
I thought the P0s were the no yellow on the sidewall should be the reins, and I see a little bit of yellow there. I'd be surprised though.
I don't see any yellow on
I
there.
would say that the slicks might have been the better call, but just before it started, I was saying if you're not on reins, don't go.
Did you see how hard he was fighting to keep the front end of that car straight, Ben?
It happened at 14. It happened at turn 1. He's really fighting, and you can see a little bit of damage there in the front left.
That's the 51 machine of Andrew Myers. And here's Walker back in 7th.
Yeah. Ben Myers turned to 26 and Merritt at 18, so you might be right. He might be on slicks.
Kropp right there in the 641.
And then there's Bob Gee. So
It's Gray in the 991 just in front of Harrington. They're running 4th and 5th.
Eric Gray with the Arrive and Drive Motorsports. Great Dustin Hodges, who's been with us in the booth. That's his group there. So Eric is doing really well out there.
Yeah. Running 4th. Ben Myers and Andrew Myers are turning almost identical laps to the hundreds of a second.
Well, offline there.
Daniel Harrington around Eric Gray under the Speedville Bridge. Look at all the campers. We've got some go-kart championships happening here in the go-kart section. Then we're coming up here. We got a shot to your right of Mission Beach. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a great beach in Wisconsin that you need to come to.
Now you can see the dry line developing.
Through the kink.
Through the kink.
Yep.
Headed down to Canada Corner. Great passing opportunity there.
Merritt turned an 18-1. He still backed off. That car with a Pro in it did a 2:10.8, I believe, was yesterday or during testing.
So Bob Gee has returned to the paddock. Eric Gray coming through 14. So there's our leader, Michael Merritt.
And Merritt has already been at every race we've had so far this year. He's just been racking up those points consistently.
Yeah, good driver out of South Florida. Gray with the Arrive Drive Motorsports. We saw Nathan Bird in this car a lot last season.
Yeah. I spoke to Nathan yesterday. He's running a Craftsman truck, or whatever it is, a NASCAR truck. And he's liking it. He says very different, though. Doesn't handle the same, not as quick, you know, no cornering.
Yeah.
Turns left real good, though.
Yeah, it doesn't handle like those open wheel cars he's used to.
No.
The Porsche Cup cars. And Juan Gonzalez, I apologize, your mission sign has blown down. I'll fix that this afternoon as they come under Mission Bridge. But this is our leader. Watch this kink. This is why this corner is so dangerous. It's a blind right-hand turn, and they have to have that wall right there because of the train tracks.
Yeah.
That's as far as their property line goes. And if we change the kink, everybody in motorsports would be, because they could take out some of that hill, but no, you can't do that. That's the kink. It's
Every
world famous.
track has character, the good ones.
Yep.
And don't change those things.
This track, for the most part, since it was built in the 50s, has remained exactly as it was originally laid out. They did add a chicane just before the kink for the motorcycle guys, because they were just carrying so much speed in the superbike categories down into the kink, and they're flat out too, and you don't have a roll cage around you. So, you know, it's just no different than what they did at Road Atlanta, the final corner there.
Merritt just turned to 17-1.
And now the track there looks dry coming down the hill.
So the next group should have it pretty good if these clouds don't yield anything.
Well, that's the challenge, right? I mean, it's nice now, but how long is it going to last?
We might have a change here for third place. It looks like Harrington got around Myers.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
Well, nobody's getting around Merritt right now.
David Harrington just turned a 24.5. Ben Myers a 28.3. So I believe they're slowing down because they're on reins.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. So it could be that Harrington is on slicks, and let's see how that goes. Now, the Cayman also is a mid-engine car, so it's favored to conditions like this.
Yeah, a little bit better balance.
Yes.
And if you're out there searching for water, I don't see it. You know, a lot of times when you've got rains and it dries, you're out there looking for puddles. But they did such a great job with the pavement here that it just doesn't exist.
Well, it's also easier said than done to drive fast and look for puddles.
Yeah.
And some of these guys haven't had that much experience, and we're not running for points or to win the world championship here. So we're a little more cautious.
For points, but you're
yeah.
This is fun hobbyist racing.
Yeah.
And we did have 15, 16 cars signed up for this event, but we just with the weather this morning, it was really cold and rainy. Just a lot of drivers said, I'll wait till the next race because they have 3 sprints.
White flag is out for Merritt. He's got one more lap around the 4 mile.
He did a 17.6. So it's about 5-6 seconds off the pace at this point. Off a dry pace, rather. A true dry pace. It's a good, clean, a little bit of spin action and that, but nobody banged their car up. Let's give them some credit.
Yeah. And we might have another spin and win here, Ralph.
Yeah. They're celebrating that this year in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Danny Sullivan.
Here they come. Merritt coming down last time into here. Yeah. So maybe he's going to try push for a flyer.
But why would he?
I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Sometimes
I'm sure Evan
you just
Slater,
do these things.
Evan Slater, his coach, is probably telling him, just bring it home. Just keep the purple car behind you.
So Merritt's going to be coming through here shortly.
Actually, Harrington is coming up behind Benjamin Myers there at turn 3.
Ben Myers is slowed way down.
So Harrington might get around for the overall. Now, he's not in the same category, but he may be getting around Ben Myers, as Gray does.
That'd be P2 overall.
Yeah, Gray around Andrew Myers. But the Myers brothers, I was saying, that's their first time in IGT. They put on the wets, and I think the wets have gone away from them.
Yeah. So he's coming down into Canada now. So it's probably getting into a wet zone down here still. Not David Gray, but let's see where that Merritt car is. Here he is. Coming onto the front straight. Here we go. Taking the checkers. Ralph?
40 years ago, Danny Sullivan spun and won at the Indianapolis 500, and almost to the day, Michael Merritt spins and wins here at Road America in International GT.
Well done.
That's pretty awesome. You know,
literally
that's
almost to the day when you think about it. About a week out.
And his fastest lap, a 17 flat.
Nice. Well, nice job from our points leader, just maintaining that points lead. And Tom, you have won the International GT Championship. Your son Lucas has.
Yes.
And so, you know, he's doing everything right.
Oh, yeah. It's all good, and he's gone to the races. He's performed well, had good coaching, and this is almost his home track as well. This in Ohio, you should see him do really well. And then we go on to the rest of the season.
So Harrington did get around Ben Myers.
So Harrington P2 overall. That's awesome.
Stuttgart.
Yep. So I believe he was on slicks then, and I stand corrected. I did not see that drying out like that.
Well, I don't think many did, Tom, so I think it was as good a guess as any.
But very good races from our newcomers, the Myers brothers, Bob Gee. So welcome to International GT.
All right, we'll see you again at 3 o'clock or 3:20 this afternoon for race 3.
Nice.
And then early tomorrow morning for the Enduro.
Yeah, we'll start tomorrow morning with the Enduro. So George Michael Merritt first, David Harrington second, third is Benjamin Myers, Eric Gray fourth, 5 is Andrew Myers, Kurt Kropp sixth, 7th is Richard Walker, and then the Cookie King of Chicago, Bob Gee. Ricky Bob Gee is what they call him in 8th place. Nice job.
All right, that'll wrap up International GT for now. We'll be back with much more action coming your way from Road America.
Architecture is about everything. We change the environment. We are changing how people live in the environment today. So we basically put our fingerprint on the future of what the United States looks like. My overall business philosophy is that I'm engaged with my company from top to bottom. And I think the racing world and helping out the next generation and younger drivers is a passion of mine, and it's getting stronger and stronger every year. With that, that's why I want to be involved.
up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
behalf of International GT, thank you all for being here on this wonderful sunny day. I didn't realize that here in Wisconsin the seasons last about 10 minutes, okay? Because we've had them all 5 seasons, because I didn't know there was something called lightning or tornado season here. I didn't know about that. I'm from Florida. We have hurricane season, but anyway, we've had them all. We'd like to thank our marketing partners, Mission Foods and Pirelli, our official sponsors, Forge Line, Wheels, and Detroit Watch Company, our vendors, Speedcom Communications, Sunoco Race Fuels, Stand 21. Thank you very much for being here. Guys, let's give them a round of applause. Thanks for being here. Thanks to all the corner workers. Yesterday's race was a bit of a challenge, as this one was. This was all about tire choice, wasn't it? It was, in the end of the day, and who knew? 90% of the cars went out on wets. I think 2, I know 1 that went out on dries, and that was the right choice, going against the grain. But, you know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That's all I say. I mean, I had so many people ask me what the weather. I'm not the weatherman. I'm the most unenthusiastic weather guy on the planet, okay? I try not to listen to politics or weather. It's just like whatever happens, happens. But anyway, a good race to start. We're going to start out. Cayman, Stuttgart Cup, 3.8 liter. 3rd place, car 527, Robert G. Robert, come on up. 2nd place, glad he made it back. Extreme Motorsports did a heck of a job in getting this car prepared. Car 64, Richard Walker. And in 1st place, and I think he was on dries, and I see Dad in the city, no, this was the secret weapon, Daniel Harrington, 1st place, 2nd place overall. Good drive in the Cayman. No, Robert? No, Robert. Richard, I don't know whether I'm more excited to see you here or you're more excited, but the Extreme Motorsports guys did, Derek and the guys did a heck of a job to get that car done, and it brought you home, and you got to continue your weekend, which I'm sure you think is a blessing in disguise.
No doubt, and I want to not only thank Derek and the team, I also want to give the track support. Took really good care of me yesterday. So thank you for everybody, whole team, awesome job.
Great job. Our 2nd place, Richard Walker, but continuing on the weekend. Daniel, not much of a race yesterday, but this was one for you, and to say, you know what, I got this handled, all right? Other than 1 car, you made the right tire choice. You muddled through the first few laps, all right, as it was wet on the backside, and great to see you finish in challenge and 2nd place overall. Good run for the Cayman.
Yeah, thank you. Slicks made a big difference, and just being patient at the beginning helped us get through that mess and on up the road.
Great job. Well, all the best. Wish you the best of luck. Pick up the champagne, guys. Our 1st place finishers, Richard Walker and Daniel Harrington. Stuttgart Cup, 3.8 liter. All right, we're going to do 2 1st place trophies here. Staying with Stuttgart Cup, 4 liter class, car 641, Kurt Krupp. Kurt, come on up. And 3.8 liter, Mission Foods GT3 Cup, car 991, Eric Gray. Eric, come on. I don't know, go over there. Yeah, somebody go over there. You guys can fight over where you go on the podium. Yeah, the hats are set for little pinheads. Eric, congratulations, good job. Some challenging track conditions really changed from the beginning to the end, but a good way to start that. Nobody really had any incidents. We had 1 heroic moment in the beginning, but good job, and you're ready for this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great fun, great group of guys. Thanks to Pirelli, Mission Group, and just everybody that's here. Arrive and drive. They put the car together well, made the right decisions on the slicks, and stayed on track.
No doubt. No, I got to say to you, I know, so funny. Did you decide like 10 minutes ago that you're coming here today? What? It was a last-minute decision.
Well, really, we only had three wet tires, so we didn't have a choice.
I actually said at one point, maybe the choice should be you put the wets on one side, the dries on the other, and hope for the best. But congratulations, Eric Gray, 1st place in Mission Foods GT3.8 liter. Kurt, good run. Came in 4 liters, a great car. And Derek and the guys gave you a good car, and congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank my wife, kids, my dog Max. My buddies are here, Mark and Kent, Derek, Marcia, AJ, John, everybody. Thank you.
Congratulations. Guys, hold up. Has anybody thanked their dog other than him? That's the first time ever. Give him a round of applause. Even the dog gets a shout out. All right. Mission Foods GT3 Cup 4-liter class. This was the top of the overall finishes. 3rd place, car 51, Andrew Myers. Not to be outdone, car 2nd place, car 29, his brother Benjamin Myers. And in 1st place, car 898, George Michael Merritt. Just showed up and got in the car and drove away. So come on up, guys. Andrew, I'll start over here with you. Congratulations. That was a 901 made a call for you. You know, it was a safe bet to start out on wets, you know, and you guys had a good run. I'll talk a little bit about the off and the over-enthusiasm of Mr. Merritt here, but I believe it was you that had to take evasive action. And you know what I say, better to be lucky than good sometimes. So the outcome was good in that no harm, no foul, but you didn't need to see that early on in the race.
Yeah, I was hoping to squeak by. I was hoping he'd stay to the right in the grass, and then he started coming across, and I had to dive to the grass, went through the gravel, lost a splitter. But car's in one piece. We'll make it for the rest of the day, so that was fun. Thanks 901 for a great car. IGT this is our first time with the series. It's been a blast so far, so looking forward to the rest of the weekend.
Good. Well, we look forward to seeing you. Congratulations, 3rd place, Andrew Myers, 4-liter class. Benjamin, if it stayed wet, you had it covered. You had him covered, but darn if it didn't start to dry out, and you had to know he was coming. And you know, he came a little bit early. That's all I'll say. But congratulations to you, 2nd place finish. 3rd place finish overall. But good job, and congratulations to you in the 901 shop.
Thank you. That was fun. It's our 2nd weekend in the car, so we're still doing a lot of learning. First time on the car in wets, and obviously you couldn't find a puddle out there to save our lives. So it was a good learning experience, and thank you 901 shop for thrashing the last 10 minutes to make that wet call decision. So looking forward to some dry running later this afternoon.
We all are. Well, congratulations to you. 2nd place, Benjamin Myers. You know, I think the only wet place was the grass, okay? And nobody really wanted to do that. 1st place, first time in the car this weekend because you got held up, and business always gets in the way of this racing thing. But we have to, I don't know, you didn't attend, Michael, the driver's meeting. Now, I don't know if I'll just tell you, but this is our 5th event that IGT has had with no car-to-car contact. You kind of pushed the envelope there and came close, okay? But, you know, a bit over-enthusiastic as you got offline, got in the wets, and found you didn't have the grip, and, you know, said, maybe I'll just wait till this thing comes to me. So it did.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I came to grid late because we decided to put the wets on late, which would have been great if we didn't get the lightning. But then today we decided to go dry, and once I got around the lead car, I got a little full of myself. So thank God for the clutch and a little bit of luck. And sorry to my teammates for a little damage. I got to find a splitter too.
All right, maybe there's a 2-for-1 sale somewhere at the grocery store, but we wish you the best of luck. Congratulations, guys. Hold up the trophies, and we'll take some pictures before it rains. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at Race 2 this afternoon on behalf of International GT. Let's give a final round of applause for our winners. Great job. Stay dry. Pray for sunshine. That's all I'll say. Have a great afternoon, folks.